Well,
Whoa.
ladies and gentlemen, in
Whoa.
our first game, as blue color, we have Wam01 playing as Rus. On the other hand, we have Sassy with the red Mongols.
What did we just experience? Now, Mongols Rus, as a player who doesn't play either of these civs, I'm really hoping that Corvinus gives us some insight. But guys, before I can ask for some insight, I instantly see that Sassy, the Chad, is chopping some wood, which is signaling to me that we might be seeing some extra expenditure here in the early game. Now, I'm no expert, but do we get a tower rush from Mongols against Rus? It just doesn't feel like it would do the damage it needs to do, or is this going to be a pasture drop?
Oh, that's a really good question. Because I would not do that. Like, I don't understand what's the point. Because, like, honestly, you just want to go into feudal with the. Oh, what? Is that a stable?
That is a stable. In fact, Sassy
Okay,
reinventing
that's
the wheel.
okay. So a villager who harvests gold next to the uwu goes to the bar and builds a stable. Okay, I'm really interested what's gonna happen here, because I don't see the point of Horseman. The reason behind that, because they don't do any of damage to a scout in Dark Age to kill them, right? Using Horseman to kill a wolf on the map, I don't see why it would be good, right? So, mm, honestly, we're gonna see. Like, wait, he just built a stable and that's it? Why is he not making a Horseman?
Well, in this case, I'm expecting him to wait for that earlier horseman, like the double produce, to come through. Because what we're
What
getting.
is.
Oh my god! Hoctor! Hoctor!
Achoo,
Beastie, thank you very much for the raid. Appreciate it, good sir. Guys, welcome to King of Dry Arabia, day 2. And another
welcome
Hoctor
to the
for
day
the
two.
people. Thank you very much. No, we did see a stable being popped down, and we do see he's double producing that early horseman. Now, the early horseman coming out, he's obviously not going to be able to deny much, but like you said, he might be killing the wolves, and he
But
could
I think the
possibly
wolves
use.
are dead already.
Oh, some of them are. I saw a wolf out there.
I
There's a little
mean,
Vuk. Vuk,
I
what
mean,
are you doing here?
like,
Hmm?
can we check the bounty for Ram? Because I don't think
Oh,
that's
we can
that's
100% check the bounty.
yeah.
Let's quickly. Oh, 100.
Wait, what?
What's
That's really
happening?
low.
Wow. Wham? Huh?
That's very low considering the fact that Sassy went with the stable and double horseman. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen. Cause what? I don't even understand. Like, what happened here?
Yeah.
Okay, Vam is building the Kremlin.
So guys, I realize Tommy hasn't updated our score on the screen. This is still from Beastie's match from last week. I will quickly fix this. It's still Beastie's score, so I apologize. I didn't notice that that was all the way on the top of the screen. Oopsie doopsie daisy. Such is life. Let's go look at this horseman while he's running, and I quickly go and fix the score in the corner.
It's okay, don't worry. Just fix it while I'm gonna talk about this horseman. So as you guys can see, this is a red horseman. Why are we calling it as a red horseman? Well, basically the player with the red color is currently using this horseman to go to the other side where we have the blue colored player. So the red colored player with the red horseman right now going to the stone mine where the blue players with... Oh my god. Okay, never mind. The red colored horseman had a little bit of an issue, a little bit of pathfinding, but eventually he found the blue colored villagers and he's trying to do a little damage. But you know what is the problem? Did you see the juke what the villager was doing? Like the villager did like a little circle, like a little dancing, and after that going back to the TC. So Van actually using the power of little dancing with the villagers, and I can tell you that as well, that building is a house. That's crazy. So imagine that Vam right now using his villagers, right, to overly make that house. Because did you see that how many villagers he put on that house to build it? Which means he's losing a resource per minute because he put way too many villagers. Which also signals to you that he was about to get popcat, which is really bad. But that red horseman is about to die. But maybe can chop. Oh no! Oi, oi, oi! The red horseman did not do enough, and eventually falls down to the ground. Well, good night, horsey. You were a good warrior.
beautiful attempt at becoming a menace. And honestly, Sassy gonna set himself up to a raid later on. But I feel like Wam is the kind of guy who will definitely put these villagers in a safe position so they don't get clapped later on. But now we're seeing 240 wood coming out from the SAS here, which I don't know about you guys, but that to me feels like a little bit of a TC drop, wouldn't it be? Oh, that's a lot of wood. That's a lot of wood.
If
Yeah.
this somehow, well, what if that's actually a second TC?
Yeah, that
Would be
is.
crazy.
Why would it be crazy? I hope it's not crazy. Sassy's a
I mean-
very logical person.
Wait, hold up.
Crafty.
That doesn't add up.
You're like,
Okay,
that's
okay.
not true.
Like this is like okay, just consider the fact he's on Civ 3, right? And
Yeah.
he's going to TC. Okay, like wait, pause here. Like no, don't pause. So like think about it. You are playing against a Rus player, right? Who goes to TC, and yourself you go to TC and trade. Well,
That's
I can
very
tell you that
greedy.
eventually. Yeah, what a second mark. Well,
Oh
what
my
company?
god. Maybe he's decided. Oh, and a stable. The man has decided he's gonna spice things up and go back to something normal-ish.
Okay. I understood. So Wam scouted that Sassy is getting a lot of wood. So Wam gonna consider that Sassy is going to TC, but eventually Sassy is playing the 5-head game here, right? So he is not building a second TC. He revealed that he's getting the wood for it, but eventually he's gonna build a second stable and trade into the other corner of the map.
Oh, this man is.
How about that?
Yeah, honestly, it's a really good thing to way to adapt because as we know, the moment you scout that second TC, you know, okay, I'm gonna have time to boom right up. But I feel like with Mongols, the
Look at
moment they get their trade up, it is going to be
Look at the
destruction.
trader.
Yeah.
Look at the. I was right. Look at the traders going.
He's going up, yeah. Going to the
Yeah,
sneaky market.
he's gonna go. Okay.
I'm surprised he's not splitting them up to one trade to the one side and the other trade to the other side, so that when Wam does realize, he would be a little bit confused and not sure which would. Oh, he would think that there's only trade going to the one side, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that would be a really good idea, just splitting out the traders. Because eventually, how this sorry.
I
Yeah.
think.
So eventually, how the Mongol trader works, it's about how many traders you have on the market, right? It doesn't matter which market you are trading to. It's about how many traders you have assigned to the market, and that's why we don't with the second market we don't make the traders to be assigned to the second market. That's why we do it to the first market, because you will unlock a new like a different system for the market. You can even check it. So this market has 3 traders, right? Can we check if he has? Okay, he doesn't have traders on that market, which is really good. Because if he had, then he's trying to unlock the same bonuses, just like he's unlocking on the first market, right? So it's a little bit complicated, it sounds like, but that's how it works. So if you hold the cursor on the 5 number, I think it's gonna show as well that. Oh no, it doesn't.
No,
Well,
no.
anyway, it's supposed to show it that the more traders you have assigned to a market, over there,
There we
the
go.
better
There
the
we
tiers you can unlock. And that's why I'm saying, if you do this on the other market, like separately putting traders, right? You eventually gonna unlock this stuff for both market, but you don't want that because it's gonna be much slower to achieve the bonuses.
So he's making sure that they're all going from the same market to get that bonus as quickly as possible. Oh, that is
Exactly, and that's a
disgusting.
really good idea. Yeah, and that's what you want to do, because you want to unlock these unique bonuses for the Mongol trade.
Now, right now, this is looking pretty good for Sassy as well, because his arming is getting kind of solid, and I don't think Wam will have the numbers to deal with it anytime soon. He's making another spearman, but this is going to take a while. He is doing a little bit of effort on shutting down this trade, which will buy him some time. But with Sassy's income, he should be able to pump out these horses at the speed of light.
And also another thing I really want to mention, that if Sassy doesn't build a tower on the neutral market, right? There's gonna be another 1,000 years that losing those traders are insanely painful. But if he doesn't build a tower on that market, right? It takes like a million years to torch down the Rus Palisade wall. Don't forget they are like double the strength, right? So it's gonna take a long time to torch down the Palisade wall, and that's why it's really scary to do trade against Rus player.
Yeah, they can also they also have, you know, early knights, which clap traders in half the moment they hit them. And these guys are about to experience exactly that. Look at them just closing in on that trader. The Keshiks are ready, and they do try to close in. Khan firing his little arrow, trying to get the poor trader to run for his life, and they do get him out alive. Now, this is that awkward moment. Oh, but I was about to say, Wam is ready. He knows.
And now he's going into Barak's Spearman, which I think that's a correct move, because also Sassy going into, Van going into Spearman, so now Sassy going into Spearman. But the question is, which one do you prefer? Keshik for Spearman or Knight for Spearman?
I would say, depending on the numbers, Knight and Spearman, of course. Because in those numbers, you're just going to be able to deal with the Keshiks at the speed of light. The moment those things impale them, and you can see he's doubling up on the production as well. He's making sure that he can pump out those numbers. And Sassy isn't transitioning into anything that can deal with the Spearman except for other Spearmen. So I believe that this is the right response. The problem is just, these knights are free to roam, and they're really easily denying the rest of us.
Exactly. My biggest problem is that Sassy does not have towers. Even though the tower would not provide any kind of movement speed to the villagers or to the infantry of the Mongols, but it still provides the Yan network to the cavalry and to the traders. So to protect his own traders, he should have some towers in the way of the markets, right? And also, like, slowly he has to decide which market he wants to protect, because this is not effective currently. Like, Vam gonna have way too many villagers with the second TC than Sassy with his traders, because he's losing the traders. He's losing and losing and losing, and every time you lose a trader and he didn't give you resources back, that's just falling behind with economy numbers, and eventually your age of will be fall behind as well. Because as you can see, Vam is about to castle.
Yeah, Sassy right now is going out on the external sources of food, so we know that he's running a little bit low. And Wam is kind of in the position to do this without being punished. He's got a very, very strong, chunky army. Well, Sassy is staying alive, but not always. He's just losing a trader every now and again. While Wam on a second TC just producing without getting punished at all. And we can see that speaking for itself in those numbers. Now, these amount of spearmen, he doesn't have anything to answer to this in the vicinity, at least. We do see the archer rangers being popped down now, but I think he's about to get a really big surprise when Wam is going to hit Castle Age. The knights do... Oh.
Well, that's gonna be painful, losing 3
3 Keshiks, we thought.
Yeah, but those Keshik are not really useful anymore, because they're just gonna die. I mean, they can do 1 charge, but after that, they are not really useful. So, like, even though he didn't lost another 2, those Keshiks are not really useful after they are finishing their own charge.
And this is the problem right now with the numbers. Wam just did castle. He's about to queue up his upgrades as well, at the moment he has the resources for it. But at the same time, he's able to shut down the trade with these mobile units when you have spearmen just trying to chase them down. But they have really tiny feet, and they're just not able to catch up with all of these bad boys. The spearmen do collapse on this army mass, but Wam still has a lot of units across the rest of the map, and he has almost a 20 villager lead.
15 traders got killed and a villager as well so far in this game. Honestly, this matchup is insanely favored to Rus. Like, it's really favored. I'm not sure if that was a correct choice by the Keshik. He could have just cut down all those spearmen easily with no problem. But now the Rus spearmen gonna run away. You're gonna hit the Castle Age upgrades, and oh, the Kremlin gun.
Now the thing is, you do have the guns, so you can get that extra movement speed, I believe, and maybe this is what he hoped to achieve, to be able to run into these units and just take them down. But now they're just going to run into the spearmen. It doesn't look like any of them will go down, and he does trade well, but at the same time, trading well is not good enough right now. He needs to trade really, really favorably, especially with this disadvantage in his workers.
So at this point of the game, like there is a really low chance for the Mongol player to lose. The Rus player has all the upgrades, castle upgrades. The Mongol player is non-stop losing villagers. He lost a good amount of traders as well. As you can see, there's a 20 worker lead for the Rus player, and also slowly will correct the relic. He's not collecting yet, but he has a that hunting great.
Yeah.
What is it? The landmark.
150. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
You know what? It's more than nothing, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's like a night per minute.
That is a very
On
happy
goal.
night per minute as well. The fact that you do get this, and you get all those deer that spawn out of here, increasing your bounty along the way. And the thing is, Wam, I feel like he's getting close to transitioning to farms as well. We see he's got 23 on wood, and this is just going to allow him to get to that later point, which he's focused on now. While Sassy, on the other hand, is still stuck in feudal.
Yeah, and well, Sassy going to the castle age really soon because he's banking up the food and gold. But the problem is he's keep making units, he's keep making upgrades, he's keep making units. Like, I don't even understand why is he getting ranged armor right now, even though he did not see any kind of archer or crossbow or any kind of ranger, but he just randomly decided to get ranged armor instead of aging up, right? And because of that, he spent his food as well.
Yeah, this is that weird point where you're like, okay, I need to prepare for the worst. We do see some crossbows coming in, but with 4 or now 7 out, your ranged armor is not the #1 priority. What we need is finding a way to stop losing our traders here too. And we can see now with these Rus walls coming up, this market is going to be completely off limits. And I mean, with this amount of spearmen, and now we have men-at-arms as well, we're definitely not going to be able to get any snacking on this trade post down here.
Well, perfectly, I can tell you that. It was, like just said in the start of the game, it's really Rus' favorite matchup. Now, those traders are getting slaughtered as well. The worker count just getting higher and higher. Oh lord. Like 90 worker count for so far for Wam and 63 for SAS. Whew, I don't know, even like I like Krutai, okay, let's be honest, I love Krutai. Krutai is a really good landmark for 1 vs 1, for team games as well, because you can boost your teammate damage with the Krutai. But right now, Sassy is not in the situation where he can first of all protect his traders. The Krutai is way far away, and we can see a great fight. Wam is pushing in, he knows he has a chance. He wants to snack on the army of Sassy. He has nothing to push that back, and GG is being called.
Yeah, just like that, we do see Sassy tapping out of the first game. And this is unfortunately the problem if you play against someone like Wam. He's not going to stop harassing you. He's not going to allow you to trade to 2 sides. So Sassy, a little bit confident in his movement here, I would say, but I think a little bit overconfident in letting his opponent get control of, him. So Wam does take the first game. Let me just quickly update that score. Right there. Hot damn. Professional.
Damn.
So, why is this a Rus favorite matchup? Could you walk me through that?
So first of all, because you can get tower rush, right? So you can tower rush the Rus. Second of all, you want to get a higher economy lead as a Rus, which you can do easily by having the 2 TC next to your base, right? After that, you have the Kremlin as well protecting the second TC, so the Mongol can't really do anything with it. So the Mongol player want to go trade, but the Rus has early knights, which is much stronger than a Keshik, right? So that's and another thing that you can make the really strong walls as well, right? So those strong walls can just wall up the natural market, and it's gonna take ages to destroy them to unlock your possibility to trade again.
So basically, there's just all the usual plays that Mongols has that makes them such a good civilization is just completely countered by everything that Rus has. Okay, I can see that.
Yes.
I can see that. Now, what about our next matchup? And guys, I'll quickly add this one in here as well. Our next match, we will be seeing AoE versus English. Now, as far as I know, AoE versus English, they are. This is very English favored, right?
Well, that's a really, really good question because the last tournament I played, and when I played Ayubid, I eventually won against English. So now I'm trying to think back when I lost, even on ranked. I think I never lost against English with the Ayubid. The reason behind that because the fast age up, that what a Basit can't do, right?
Yeah.
So a Basit can't fast age up just like you do as with Ayubid. And going into mangonels and just having some map control, you don't even care if your opponent goes to DC. Because let me tell you why. What English really like to do, even in feudal or dark age, not going outside of the map collecting food, but staying inside his base and building farms. Now, what is the profession of the Ayubid Manjanik? Of course, the fire rocks, something like that. So
Yes.
they can destroy those farms in like 2 shot, right? So like let's imagine you put down your mill, 8 farm around it, and just 2-shotting all those farm at once.
Wait, if you focus on the mill, you get all of them.
Yes,
Everything.
exactly. Yes.
No.
So you can burn down those farms like insanely fast.
That actually sounds like a really scary situation to be in. I didn't realize that AOBids actually had an answer to this. Because one of the things that we have seen on Reddit, and guys, we all know that Reddit loves to complain, but we've seen a lot of people say that AOBids just can't deal with English. But now, with English meta of going for king, and does Sassy decide to go for a king? We'll find out. Maybe they do survive the early game. So, in the bottom half of the map, we do see Blue Wham, our Canadian chat, who took down Beastie last week in a really surprising outcome, I would say, because I know that Beastie has been convincingly beating Wham for a while, and I honestly did not expect to see him take him down that well, I guess, is the right way to put it. And I do know that there were other factors, and there was some tilting happening between all the scenes, but I think Wham might be someone to watch going into this week's EGC as well. Because we're seeing Wham versus Papipo, and then whoever loses against Lucifron and Beastie's winner. So one of these players very close to the final spot for Walla. And Sassy on the top side of the map. We see Sassy on English, my favorite civilization. So guys, let's see how this one plays out. Do you have our predictions in the chat or in the brain, Mr. Corvinus?
So again, let's see how the resources well spent on the maps. First of all, on SAS by the aggressor player. We have some front deer, as I can see, front gold, front stone for front berries. Like Sassy has everything front, which means if the Ayubi player goes to castle and eventually push the English player and makes a Manjanik, just like as I said, there is no chance of running far away and getting some resources because you're gonna get hunt down by the Lancers. Now let's check the Ayubid player. Okay, don't check the Ayubid player. That's broken. What is this? Gold and berries in the bag, wood in the bag. Women, there is berries in the corner as well. That's crazy.
He just channeled his inner Marine Lord at this point. I feel like he was like, what do I need to win and make this convincing? Wham's like, I am the highest seed as well. Let me just zone into my Marine Lord in my heart. And look at how easily this could be protected as well.
Yeah.
Tiny little
And the wood, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he can collect the wood as well in the bag. And there is no chance for the Lomboman to do any kind of damage to those villagers.
Now, luckily for him, he will not see any longbowmen. I don't know if this is a decision made by Sassy because he saw the spawn. And knowing he won't be able to get that early damage down, does he go for a second TC? And the answer is yes. Sassy is going to go for that second TC. But now the problem is, if you go for that second TC, aren't you just going to be open to getting fast castled? And not having an answer to the units that pour into your base?
Well, this is the time when English player says, "Well, I have the white tower. I can do whatever I want to do." You know, like actually. But at the same time, do you really think that a normal white tower can protect you in this situation? I would say not really. Ooh, Wham goes with the villager.
For the initial age up, just getting those 3 villagers out. I mean, this does mean he plans on extending these bad boys with an extra bit of food, and hopefully he does not deplete this thing before it's time. He's microing that very well. He just makes sure to not get these ones tapped out. Sassy hitting the feudal age first, but now the king does not get out so quickly as it used to before. And now the king will take a while before he can go and harass. And it doesn't look like Wham is going fast castle. He has something else up his sleeve. I
Wait,
haven't
what?
seen a
Wait.
opposite or even 2TC in my life.
I don't think that's 2TC. I think that's just a tower and upgrades on it. Like, I think he's just scared of English pushes. So basically, what he gonna do is just build a tower. Oh, look at that. Yeah,
You're right.
I'm telling you, I can. The players for me are an open book. I can read them any second, anytime.
So he's just getting that tower upgraded to make sure that the king doesn't come and clap him and control the game by going fast castle. Will we see
Exactly,
a
and
culture wing
also-
from this?
I don't think so. I think he's gonna go either bazaar or 3 camels. I mean, we can see. Wait. We can see 3 dervish. I'm just saying.
That would be
That's a
amazing.
possibility as well. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Logistics. That would actually be quite fun. The thing is now, Sassy has overmined a little bit of the stone, and I don't know if this is just for an upgrade on the tower. Could be. Ensuring that you do have that safe resource there as well, and we do see that that is just enough to put that second TC
Wait,
down.
what?
Now, unfortunately, the positioning on this guy is really dangerous, because now if you put your TC this far forward, you're just opening yourself to harassment. Now, this will mean that you will have either lancers or goulams in your base,
Yeah.
denying some of your sources. I feel like even if you put the what is that thing called? Oh, the White Tower. Even if you
The
put it
White
over
Tower.
here, you're gonna really struggle getting resources here.
Like I'm trying to understand because now, like this is open invitation to dude. You just use Manjanik. Just Manjanik me down right now, right? Because oh, one really important information for you women. The Manjanik is the only unit in the game that has its own unique damage type. So many people doesn't know that, but actually the Manjanik has a damage type called fire. Now there are buildings in the game that has extra fire protection, just like the House of Wisdom provides fire protection against buildings. So which means you can't use Manjanik against Ayubil or Basit buildings because you have fire protection, or you can't use the fire damage against. Oh, what happened?
AoE just crashed, guys. What just happened?
No way.
I can't believe it, guys. Did we just see a bug IRL right now? No. Did my computer just pull a cow? It almost did it again. Oh my goodness, it's fine. We'll catch it in a moment. Give me a second. Calm down, guys. We're gonna get it back in a moment. Yeah.
Okay, don't worry. I'm
Yeah.
gonna distract them. I'm gonna distract them. Just do
Distract
whatever.
them,
Do
go
whatever. I'm gonna
ahead.
distract. Okay. So basically, there are like other buildings as well that has fire armor, which is like a keep. So you should not use fire damage against keep like on the Manjanik, because you are actually doing less damage than using the normal rocks. So also you can do that against daily keeps, because if you use the fire damage against daily keep, you do only 1 damage per balls, so it's like 12 damage total.
So the fire resistance actually caught up in that way. It does
Yes,
actually count
so-
as interesting.
So yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
So it's only good against the Manjanik. And that's why I see even pro players doesn't know this, and they are trying to use the fire damage against buildings that has fire armor, while a normal damage with the Manjanik would do more damage than the fire one. Because as I said, the Manjanik is the only unit that has its unique damage. Like there is no other unit. Even with a Byzantine Ram using siege damage and not fire damage, which I don't know why, but that's programmed like that.
For the fire damage, what about the you know, the villagers burning something down? Is that not also considered fire damage?
Exactly. The torch that units using or villagers, etc. They are all fire damage as well, but not like as a siege. So like as a main damage, only the Manjanic has it like as a main damage. But of course, torches and etc. They all count as fire damage, and like just let you know that a bad seed Ayubit keep if it's under the protection of the House of Wisdom. The villager will eventually do only one torch damage against a keep of Ayubid or Abbasid. And also one torch damage against Delhi keeps, and one torch damage against an HRE tower that has a relic inside. Because the relic also increased the fire armor.
Okay. And today I learned. I got schooled, Governors. Thank you very much. Thank you for distracting Twitch as well. They've been just fed with information this whole time. The people are like, oh wow, I've learned so much. Oh my god.
They didn't even realize the game crashed.
Yeah, no, they did not realize a thing. You guys didn't realize anything, right? Right? We're good. But we do see that Wam is preparing to already get the Gulams, and with the blacksmith popping down, we'll be getting that +1 range defense for sure. And then I think we're going to be having a very panicked Sassy because the food here is not plentiful. We see the farm transition was already in the zone, and with these deer at the front here, he should be able to get a little bit, but there's about to be something bumping, and he's not going to have any answers for this.
Here's what Sissy gonna do, because as you can see, yeah, just like it said, like, oh, the villager! The villager is danger! Call the ambulance! But not for me.
Not for me, and this king is luckily running away, getting his healing off. And we do see the second stable being popped down, which means we're going to get a lot more camel lancers. Now, Sassy has not started aging up, so this will mean that when Wam gets into the base, Sassy might actually be in danger of losing a few villagers along the way.
Now I'm thinking, where would you put down the White Tower if he goes White Tower? Because his wood will be in danger. He has to protect the second TC. Oh, okay.
I mean, that's a choice. It's very far forward. It does protect your gold villagers from some danger, but I do believe a Camel Lance or two could get a little bit of a villager punishment off here. It does protect your second TC, you're not going to lose that anytime soon, and maybe this is the time that Sassy needs to get up. He's going to get it up, boys.
I mean, he will, but... Okay.
Ooh, he
okay,
does.
He's getting cooked.
Some of the damage getting on this Camel Lancer, but he does take down his first villager. And this Camel Lancer is barely taking any damage. The Gulam punishing Sassy for everything he's ever dreamed of. And he realizes, I need to double down and finish this thing.
And 3 villagers.
4 villagers, baby. 5 villagers go down.
5 villagers, yes. That's kind of crazy because now they are on the same villager number, but Wem is actually collecting relics soon. So, I don't know, like, Sassy has no farms, right? Or does he have farms? Maybe he doesn't.
He has a few, He's
but that's nothing. That's nothing, right? Because as soon as the deer runs out, you are on 2 TC, right? So like 6 farm will not really help you when you are on 2 TC and you have to make military because your opponent is actually on 4 Camel Lancer and 2 Gulam and also collecting the relics. So in this situation, what would you do when your opponent is collecting relics and being aggressive around your base? You know?
I think Sassy is trying to do what the textbook says, and the textbook always tells us get crossbows. And that's exactly what he's doing. The villagers are spicy enough to fight this off, but this does idle the farms a bit again, and he does get a little bit of, a lot more idle time, even on the wood line. So now, gold villagers still safe. The camel ones did try to look for some damage, but this very cleverly placed wall by Sassy held them off for just a bit longer.
Honestly with you, I'm really curious what is the next plan of Wam, because Sassy is getting the crossbow, which is fine, but let's see the resource per minutes. Like, Wam is leading with food, Wam is leading with wood currently, and with gold as well, and stone. I wonder if Wam attempting to go second TC or keep. That's a second TC. 100% that's a second TC.
And it's great to see how many he's got on there. And what we're going to be... That is disgusting. Wham, the smart man. He's getting a second TC to stay up to level with the English. Knowing that he did punish Sassy by killing a few villagers, Sassy's second TC will outperform his non-second TC. But now with him getting that down, he's going to be able to protect these berries too. So this does put him in a favorable position of getting army out, especially in Castle Age. While English does go a little bit slower at this point, just making sure that they can get their farm transition out, it does take a while for them to get going. So, very smart play here by Wam.
So far, I can tell you that, like in economical situation, Wam is in lead, even though you can see the numbers are lower. But maybe those numbers gonna be equalized very, very soon by losing some villagers. Yeah, it's going down. Wam, man, help him.
At this point, I feel a little bit I don't know, scared for Sass. This is one of those instances where the camel lances are there. You don't have any upgrades to handle these. Right now, your crossbows are doing damage, but they need to be hitting a lot harder, and there's only 2 of them. He does double down on the spearmen, and at some point, I think he does need to extend this wall so these camel lancers don't just run through the whole time. But the thing is now, they've shown their power. Sassy does have a spearman, he's going to try to do this, but there's 2 of them against a guy with a very, very tiny spear. So they will go down, and again, you just have 2 crossbows. This is very dangerous to move far out.
And also the spearman was not even upgraded yet, so they were still feudal spearmen.
Now, feudal spearman that we know does not fare too well against these Castle Age camel lancers. Now, the camel lancer numbers, they are increasing, and we can see he's focusing on those very, very well. The king here might be in a little bit of danger now, but he's followed this up with some knights as well, so he has that mobility. But again, the unease from the camels are just going to cause these knights to hit a little bit less than they usually do.
And Sassy's collecting berries. I'm not sure about that, honestly, with you, because he has the wood, right? So when I'm playing with English, when I even have like 100 wood in the bank, I would immediately like farm. There's no problem of putting villagers onto berries when you have at least the level 1 food upgrade, right? But having that many villagers on berries, nah. Like, he had insane amount of wood in his bank. He's spending to make production buildings, which I don't agree when you have a white tower that already makes unit really, really fast. So rather, like, so how you need to imagine the situation? He is building more production building, but there is no economy to sustain these buildings. So there is no reason to build those buildings if you can make units out of it.
Sassy is still being proactive on the map, but the spearmen are trying to take a fight. The thing is, this is kind of dangerous for them. The numbers just aren't there. And with the Ghulams being right behind, this is going to be so tough to deal with. Sassy was floating a little bit of the resources there, which could have been turned into some farms, but I think at this point, he's just not sure how to respond to Wam about all this aggression in his face.
And Wam has a tempo right now, because as you can see, he does not have farms, but he has really, really fast gathering villagers, right? So even his peak food per minute was 1,300, while Sassy is still struggling with the 700 food per minute, while his opponent, as I said, the peak number was 1,300 food per minute, which is scary. Of course, it will go down as soon as we are like going into the game more and more. And if Wam doesn't transition into farms in time, then Sassy will come back into the resource generation. Don't forget, his farms are way much stronger than the Ayubid farms, and also as the Ayubid, you don't have the upgrade, just like the Abbasid, to gather the food much faster. So Ayubid also just have a 10% gathering speed, not really enough. But currently, oh my god, that's really good. That's really good by Sassy. He just took out 2 Lancer.
The thing is, this is kind of a move that Sassy needs to make work because his gold is about to expire, so we do see him going a little bit further out for that gold, and he is on 5. Oh, he's playing against the 5 relic Ayubid. Now, Aobit, not as scary as an HRE, but still something you don't want to give 5 relics to. So Sassy now trying to get those upgrades, catching up with Wam, but not anytime soon.
He's slowly, but getting the upgrades, right? Which is really, really good. But at the same, oh no, the
he
first
just allowed it.
Manjanic.
And the moment.
And okay, that's I mean that
got the
weapon
tower.
is not really good. Not really good against units, right? Really, really good against buildings, but wait, he can't. What?
Switch that around.
Yeah.
He says,
No!
I have a little bit of an advantage. Let me just bait him quickly. Oh, and what a bait. He gets the king.
I mean, yes, the king, but that was an expensive siege. The resource trade, the resource trade was really bad.
And Sassy looks like he just wants to collapse on this now. Honestly, with not protecting your crossbows, you're going to be cooked pretty quickly the moment you get these things poured out. The Camelons is doing amazing work collapsing on these, but there's still a lot of them left. The problem is, Wam does have a huge crossbow mass to follow this up with, and I don't think Sassy has any nukes coming out of his arsenal anytime soon. Right now, we need a juicy mangonel shot on top of this, but he just doesn't have the gold to produce this.
So the mistake was here that as soon as he destroyed the Manjanic, which was good, Sassy should have just stayed behind the second TC, because that's a key point, right? So he stays behind the second TC, he's just messing up his army, which is perfectly not. Oh my god, those villages have Molotov cocktails.
Oh, and the king goes down again. Such an expensive unit to just pull, and he decides to call it. Wham! Taking down Mr. Sassy so far for a 2-0. Now, guys, to be expected from a higher seed, right? Wham definitely dominating in Age of Empires right now. And with the leaving of Lucifron and Vortex, will they be the new top brothers? I actually would say that they've been the top 2 brothers for a while. How are you feeling about the brothers? Who are we noting as the top brothers?
Well, it's like it's a really weird thing to call about, since like Vortex and Lucifer called the white flag on Age of Empires 4. Mm-hmm. But which brother were better, like the Spanish or the Canadians? Well, honestly, we have to really like put the players next to each other. Like let's see how Vortex performs against Wham or Papipo, or how Lucifron. But I think on skill level, the overall skill level, they're on the same level.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh. I would have. Go on. Lead the way.
Because I'm pretty sure. Just distract them. Let me check something.
Okay, he's checking something right now. Now, guys, I can already feel like I'm gonna disagree with Corvinus here, because if I look at lifetime achievement over Age of Empires, I can definitely see Lucifron and Vortex getting more top placements than our Canadian brother Chads that we have been seeing recently. Now, a big loss for us to see them going to Stormgate, but honestly, might they be back? I don't know how many of you in the chat have actually tested out Stormgate, and if you have, let us know what you think. But I saw Reddit with Beastie yesterday, and it was something. The people are very upset about the game, so I don't know if we're going to be losing Vortex and Lucifron for too long. What do you guys think?
So, Wham, I just checked. Vortex against Wham. Vortex has 60% win rate, which is really good, right? Really good. But against Papipo, he has only 16. Not 60. 16.
Out of how many games?
Yes. In 12. 12 series. 12 series. Ooh. So we are talking about series. Yeah, so almost 15%. So that's why I'm saying that Vortex is really, really good against Wham, but he just only won 2 series against Papipo and lost 10 series against Papipo. So that's why I'm saying, like, this brother good against that brother, the other brother good against that brother. That's what I meant.
It's definitely the playstyle though, because Puppy Paw is also a little bit wild, like Vortex. Vortex is a very wild player. I feel like Lucifron has a little bit more of a stable, static gameplay. He follows the meta and goes from there. And I think you can say that about both brothers. So Puppy Paw being a little bit wilder can contend with our wild Vortex player as well.
So I just checked. Wam, Lucifron
Yeah.
has better win rate against Puppy Paw, but has lower win rate against Wam. So I was correct.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah,
pretty
so that's
cool.
why I'm saying like the brothers are countering each other. Like put this brother against that brother.
So if we had a team tournament, they would just counter out one another. We would never have a winner.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can have our best of 100.
Best of 100. I would be in for that. 100%. Now, guys, we are heading into our... What would we call this one? The decider match, I guess. The match point is the name. And this is Sassy and Wam. Now, guys, if Sassy loses this one, it's not the end of the road for him. There is still a loser bracket. That is happening. But more on that a little bit later. Now, what we're going to be seeing here is the usual old Byzantine cistern being plopped down, including all your sheep and your gold in the early game. On the other side, we do see the Ottoman opening with the military school, which is not something I see very often. Especially against Byzantines, because I feel like the villagers just contend too well at that point.
Also, I agree with all that. But did you know that recently I just teach something new? I'm not gonna tell to teach it what, but I recently teach something new to Beastie about Byzantine. And the winery. So he's well prepared for the Red Bull. Let's say that.
He's well prepared for Wallala. Okay. And why is that? Teach us more, Corvinus. Coach us.
No, this thing I cannot talk about it, right? Because the reason why I told Baser, right? Because I want him to win this thing. Cause that's why I'm finding all this information, right? I'm non-stop sharing to him. I don't want to just say it loud. But question two. Relic inside the winery still or monastery?
I think Relic in the winery.
Relic in the winery.
I
think
vote
so
Relic
as
in the
well.
winery. You think so too?
Relic in the
Okay.
winery. Yes, exactly.
I know
Relic into the
Beastie.
winery.
Beastie is a big proponent of Relic in the monastery, but I like to put my relics where they don't belong, in towers and in the winery. The
Exactly.
unusual
I
spots.
100%. Yes, I 100% agree with you.
Okay. In the places they don't belong. Got it. Yeah.
So let's see. Okay. Well, now that's a front winery, right? That's the most frontest winery.
The frontest of them all.
Yeah, exactly. So let's think about this.
Is he going to be able to punish this? Because Sassy now, he's getting those spearmen out, and he should be able to deny the berries for a little bit. But guys, keep in mind, the Byzantines is... Oh, is that a spy sheep? That's a spy sheep. Guys, that's a spy sheep.
The spy sheep.
Spy sheep.
Which is good because...
How
oh
did
my
this
god, he's
happen
getting
again?
so much.
Age of Empires? What is happening? It crashed again, guys.
Oh.
What's going on?
Well, okay,
Is it
let's
because
talk
Wham?
about the game.
It's because
Yeah,
Wham
yeah.
is here, guys. When Wham is in game, do things crash? What is that aliens guy? Wham crash.
Van Crash. You
Well,
know, like
Crash.
we always love to call Vam is trading. Now
Yeah.
Vam is crashing.
No, Wham is trading. Wham is trading. I didn't know he was trading. Wham is crashing. Oh my god. There's too much wham in one game. Yeah, I think so too. Maybe it's just too much for the game to handle here. That could very well be it. Thank you for that insight. That's exactly what we needed here. But don't worry, I will fast forward this thing at the speed of light. By the time we're back in, you guys are gonna be like, whoa, where did this come from? Luckily, we crashed in feudal, so there were no villages, no food sources running out yet. We're all good. We're all good. Luckily, we know Sassy and Wham didn't crash. It is just poor old us. So guys, let's hop back in to transition back into the game.
I
Okay,
think you
we're
could
speeding up.
recover inside.
Keep us entertained, Corvinus.
So in this matchup, I really do like Byzantine rather than Ottoman, because Ottoman is really good and it's being amazing. But recently also Anotan showed us a really good play without the military school. It was against Beastie, and he also won the game against Beastie without military schools. Well, I was calculating the resource per minute, like why did he won against Beastie in the Ottoman versus English game. So skipping the two military school eventually give him in the short term more army value than in the longer term. So it would be like with a little bit longer game, a military school would be much better. But in the short term, not building the military school was the correct choice.
Okay, makes sense because you just want to get that value out as much as possible. And this type of harassment just provides so much control for Sassy. Because now Sassy is forcing off of gold, and we know that Byzantines doesn't really mind that in the early game. He should be able to afford that wheelbarrow if he ever wanted, but it looks like that's going to be an archery range coming followed up with the stable. Now, Corvinus, since you're the top coach here, what is happening here with the cistern? Why are we putting it right on top of the winery when it can be blocking farms?
Oh, that's a really good question.
That was a good question.
I just wanted to mention, like, why the Wam is building the winery over there. But let's think. Like, first of all, he can build front, what's the front production buildings. Second of all, he can put towers in the range of cistern, and if he does that, then he can activate the protection, right, on those towers. So it's gonna be much harder to torch down or take it down by siege. Other than that, I don't like the place under the cistern, honestly.
So I think in this point, when we see a cistern like this, I think you just pointed out something that most of us did not know about. With the cistern, you can activate this protection, which will just allow you to, you know, be safe in the moments of suffering. When your towers are getting sieged down, you just activate the button and they just live to tell the tale a little bit longer. Now, Sassy does follow this up with a stable, so we're going to be seeing some Sipahi action. And I'm honestly very excited for that. I love myself a good Sipahi roundabout, especially when you know that your opponent is getting their food at the front of their base. But with the amount of villages we see on food, we know these berries are not going to be lasting very long. Wham is getting every single drop of olive oil he can get from these berries. And I guess then the farm transition begins. With 10 on wood, you just have enough to start that farm transition.
And also, women, it's not just that. If you activate Dialectus on the cistern, you actually can get faster emplacement on the tower.
Corvinus, that's a nice fun fact. We all needed that.
So, like, you can get the Mangala tower in, like, let's say 10 or 8 seconds.
You can get in, but for that you need castle. So I'm not thinking that Sassy is gonna allow Wam to go for a castle, but it doesn't look like Wam feels that way either. He's just gonna do the slow farm transition piece by piece and capitalize on those free resources. We do see the javelin throwers being the chosen unit of choice here, which I'm honestly very excited about, because I feel like the javelin throwers just provide that extra bit of control when you're playing against an Ottoman that wants to get in, out, and then finally do a push. And they do very often go for a lot of archers.
So this could be an interesting. So the Byzantine meta right now against such an aggressive Civ is actually the barrack archer range and the mercenary house with the javelin throwers. Because the javelin throwers also provide you a really good high ranged armor unit, right? Because they are high ranged armor unit, can take down the enemy archer really fast. Behind that, you're gonna get your little spearmen with the shield ability activated, so you can protect your javelin throwers, and also the archers. Well, you're asking why the archers? Because if the opponent decides to not go archers himself, but into spearmen and sipahi, what they can do is send the spearmen front and send the Sipahi in the back, because thanks to the long range of the Sipahi, you can stab behind your own spearman and the Sipahi will not receive any damage, and you can activate the attack speed.
So what you're saying is, when you have the right amount of spearmen, you just protect your Sipahi without them being in danger of being spearmen. Very nice.
Yeah, correct. So
That
that's
is
why it's really good to have archers with javelin throwers.
Now, I can definitely see how this is the moment for Wham to collapse on Sassy, though, because, guys, as we know, Ottomans becomes a death ball later on. And when, like Orban has now explained as well, if you get that right composition, this is going to be so hard for you to take down and punish. But it looks like he's in position to do some damage, and if Wham can get some villager kills or just force these guys into a very unfavorable position, and it looks like that's going to be the case. Look at all these archers, and they're just going to get countered by these javelin throwers being very far away from their base. And I just don't think Sassy has the numbers altogether to take this down right now.
Like, I remember I had a game against, I think, Myriad, where he didn't understood why he can beat the Spearman Sipai when he was making Spearman himself and a cavalry unit. I don't know which civilization he played. And he was like, how can I beat it? How can I beat it? I was like, I have no idea, man. So what I did was only Spearman and Sipai. I sent the Spearman to the front, Sipai in the back, activated the extra attack speed, activated the attack speed from the matter as well, and those Sipais were taking that everything in seconds.
So we just provide that protective layer, but it doesn't look like Sassy is very aware of this protective layer he can put around. But the thing is, he's playing against a Civ that has a lot of ranged units right now. The Limit and A are being produced as well, so we will be seeing a very diverse comp from Wham, allowing him to take down any unit that Sassy has to offer. But Sassy now has the military lead, just a little bit. So now this is that moment where this Ottoman death ball starts to form. We do see these archers a little bit forward, not with their protective Sabahi around them, and they will get a few of the Limit and A.
Yes, but at the same time, those archers will fall down as well. They get 1 or 2 limited, which is really, really good, but he is losing eventually more and more. So was it a good trade, like losing 4, 5 archers for 2 spearmen? I don't think so.
Oh no, definitely. The difficulty comes in with this point where you really struggle to take these trades when you're not sure what your opponent has to offer. But now the Sipahis are here and they're going to collapse, but the Limit and A are in position and they do get a victim down as well. Sassy is not in the lead with this army composition right now, but they are coming from different sides. He should be able to take this fight. The Limit and A are at the front, the archers focusing them down, but now the Spahis are almost free to get on top of these archers. We can see Wham just target firing these archers at the back so that they can't get the spearmen down too. But now the Spahis are going to clean up and send Wham back to his base. But guys, keep in mind, this is Byzantines. Byzantines is a lot more in stock for themselves. We do see the boys being pushed off of the berries, and they might be going back to the backwards ones, but now Wham needs to be careful.
So I'm thinking like, yeah, even though it is Byzantines and they going to Castle Age very, very soon, right? So still losing the javelin throwers can hurt you a lot. Because let's say Sassy wanted to go Castle Age at the same time, right? So let's say they both going to Castle at the same time. It would be much better for Sassy since Wham lost like an insane amount of unit on the field. You can see the army value as well, it's crazy.
Yeah, the point, when we're getting to this point of the game, you always have that weird decision you gotta make. And we see Wham has made his decision in getting that age up. The problem is, Sassy doesn't realize this. And I think Sassy's about to get a big surprise. And he does have a really, really solid amount of units. But I don't think he's ready to push this. We can see he has a little bit of extra gold there. He's not committing to something just yet. But it might be switching to a castle pretty quickly because we do see now 19 on food. So he's not going to be producing as much as he used to. Maybe he does switch over the castle in the next few moments.
I mean, I don't understand why he picked the Imam. So he Sassy picked the 2 Imam. But honestly, there was no reason to do that because he's not even a castle. He's sending the imams to the ready position, but there's a long way to get to castle because he's still sitting on 500 food and 400 gold, and he just recently used his food as well to make units. So it's like, Sassy, you have to decide. You want to age up, you want to attack, but you have to do something eventually because those Varangian guards are coming. And even though they are weaker than a normal man-at-arm on health, they can still do and give you a huge punch into the face.
Yeah, the problem is, once the Varangian gods are out, they might be weaker. They're definitely going to keep these archers under control. Sassy didn't have any villager kills over here. Even though the villagers were very exposed for a while, he does try to go for them now. Also doesn't happen to close these out just yet, and it looks like he's losing these archers for nothing. This is such an expensive loss for Sassy right now, but he is ready to go up for Castle Age himself. And again, he's taken a good fight before, so this is not over for him. But he needs to be very careful that he doesn't lose everything for nothing right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even though if you try to go inside the Byzantine base and trying to snipe those villagers, don't forget that they can activate the accurate defense. And now what, right? So the villagers receive two extra armor. So they're gonna be like, it's gonna be even harder to kill those villagers since you have the accurate defense.
I actually thought that the Akatari defense gives them stronger weapons. I didn't realize it actually gives them defense as well. And I feel like you just coached me and my Byzantines, and I really appreciate it. Now I will activate that thing more often.
35 per hour, I'm just joking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So exactly, that's why it's really important to activate the accurate defense when there is like a huge archer ball is coming to your villagers, because you can literally save all of your villagers with the 2 extra armor. That's a lot, because now the archer will do only 3 damage per shot.
Now, Sassy does get 2 of these relics though, and yes, your villagers are chunky, but you need to go get some relics, sir. And he does have one of his... Ooh, he is making his first imam, but these guys are trying to snack on some villagers. They do get a victim. They might get another one. Another one goes down. And Wam currently needs to be a little bit more careful not to lose too much against Sassy. Because again, you know what the power of Byzantines is, but Ottomans also has an insanely good mid to late game.
So far the game is stale out, but if you just... So like myself, right? I'm looking at this game and trying to see which player is ahead, right? So the player who has the farms currently is kind of ahead in terms of economy, because those villagers, they don't need to move. They're stationary, right? They're just harvesting from the farms and bringing in a really good amount of olive oil and food back to the player, right? But on the other side, the Ottoman player does not have farms, still getting the outside resources, which is really, really good, because that's more resources than getting on farms, like if he is on deer. But again, if he doesn't do the farm transition in a correct timing, right, and he has to move the villagers left to right, left to right, left to right, eventually the Byzantine player is gonna get ahead. But we can see there is a really good raid, a little bit of fire. Oh, losing the matter is insanely painful for the Ottoman player. But Sassy is trying to raid, trying to kill some villager, which he eventually did. He killed 3 villager. But still, even with the 3 villager kill, the Byzantine is ahead.
Yeah, this is unfortunately just that awkward position where you as an Ottoman, you can't do significant damage, but you can poke, and Sassy is using that perfectly. Now with Ottomans, you do wait for the critical mass that you're getting, but Sassy is getting kind of close to that. And we know that Ottomans has an absolutely disgusting, powerful thing that's about to plow down. And I don't know, I feel like Wam needs to be a little bit careful, but now these towers are enforced, some of them at least. I do expect to see a few more of these Mangonel emplacements coming out, but we do see the production being forward as well. But with the Varangian guards, this might be a fight that Sassy is not ready to take. He does have 9 crossbows, so he should be able to handle himself pretty well. But that number is starting to look a little bit scary, and the upgrades, they're pretty good for Wam.
Expect getting +1 or 2 on the melee damage, while he has mostly melee units, right? Oh yeah, the Mangonel Tower, look at that! Look at the damage by the Mangonel Tower. Ooh, that's really painful. So like, if you don't want to fight against a Mangonel,
this is that awful moment for you when you're just underestimating the fact that the Mangonel Tower can take down whole armies. I've won so many games with my opponents just misjudging the damage from this Mangonel Tower, and honestly, Sassy took a lot of damage from the tower. I feel like a lot more than he actually took from the units here, but still, pretty favorable fight for him here.
Well, honestly with you, most of the kills were thanks to the Mangonel Tower and not thanks to the Wam army. Look at that, look at that. He's gonna do another one. Oh my, did you see just 4 units died? Oh my god, that Mangonel Tower is crazy.
And now the problem is his real mangonel is not made of stone. So that mangonel tower, or mangonel tower, the mangonel that's out, it's not gonna do the same as the tower did. And the fight is not in favor of Sassy anymore. Just like that, he lost a lot of units just for the little tower here. But now we do see a second TC from Byzantines as well. So now Byzantines is gonna start getting ahead. So even though we do see 7 dead villagers on the side, maybe 8 soon enough. Oh no, these villagers are spicy. They'd say not today and kill everything in their wake.
And as you can see, like, Wam has a lot of olive oil and he's building a secondary mercenary house. Because I'm pretty sure he also put the relics inside the winery, which is really, really good. Yes, so he has a really good olive oil per minute. Also, he has the farms around the winery, which is perfectly nice. And he has to build a second mercenary house to make sure he can use all of his units. I mean, all of his olive oil into units.
Now the problem with the mercenary house is he is just going for the javelin throwers. Oh, I would say problem, but I realize now as long as Wam keeps taking these fights under these mangonel towers, these javelin throwers are going to be great because they're just so good with the base damage that they do. And we do see with the outpost being in such aggressive positions, Sassy will have to reassess what he did the last fight. He does have another mangonel out, but he needs to get some other units out there to try and take care of these towers. I just don't think Wam is going to allow him to because the production is absolutely wild. With these farms being set up, he's just perfectly okay with staying in castle and taking this fight.
Also, Sassy just went second TC because he is really scared of the economy of the Byzantine. Because he also knows that Byzantine players in 2 TC, so he followed up with his own second TC as well. But the problem is, Sassy, he does not really have farms. I'm pretty sure that's all the farms he has, you can see on the screen.
Now, these poor farms are going to have to feed an army, but as you guys know, an army needs more than 3 wheat fields. They need at least 20. I would say just to, at least, to just get started. And I think when you start having full sets of farms, things will look better. Now, keeping in mind, Sassy does get these passive resources, or passive, I say, but you do have the berries as well, and the units that are coming for free. But this is a scary push from Wam. And keep in mind, Wam can just walk in and kill stuff. There's no mangonel towers to defend Sassy's base.
And there's gonna be a lot of villagers going down. Those numbers are just dwindling down and down, and you can see Sassy went down to 58 villager. He was ahead in villager numbers compared to Wam, and now Wam is ahead. Even though now both player has 2 TC, which is really, really good. Wam has way much more farms that also giving a secondary resource.
Now the thing is, Wam is able to split Sassy apart, and Ottoman is not a Civ that likes to be split apart. They want to have their death ball together. But now, Sassy needs to defend on both sides, and these javelin throwers are doing such a good job at sniping down everything causing trouble. These crossbows don't even get to tell the story back at the village, they're all just dying. Now, Wam's army is split, so keep in mind those numbers are not reflective of just having everything together, but this is still looking good for Wam. He does get the idle time on the few farms that we see here at the back, and now we're starting to reach that 20 mark, but we need a lot more. Oh, that's a lot of jabbies.
Like remember when I said it's still favored for the Byzantine because he has farms, and I can tell you that food difference right now. It's gonna show up more and more. Like let's say we go like 3-4 minutes into the game, and Sassy just started to build his farms, which is really good. But the overall food per minute is going lower and lower and lower because he is out of deer. He is out of berries. Well, not really out of deer, but he has no chance to get her his own deers currently. And wow, Wam just making the map into his own hand. He's capturing sacrifice left to right. He's rolling the map. He's doing everything.
Yeah, this feels like it's Wam's game right now. He's in Sassy space with his javelin throwers, and guys, We know a javelin thrower that goes under your TC, you're gonna be crying for days. Those things hit like a truck and they take a punch. So right now they're knocking at the gate and they're ready to break right in. But now Wam does need to be careful here because one solid mangonel shot could turn the fight on its head.
And most of these units are javelin throwers. So as you can see, all the 31 javelin thrower, I mean all the 31 in that army is those are javelin throwers. So that's really correct what you said about the mangonel. But the question is, will he push in? Oh, he does.
Yes,
he does push in. Okay.
He does want that second
maybe
DC, but he knows the javelins take barely no damage, so he just wants to go snipe a few villagers, call it a day. This is risky.
Yeah, the mangonel. Oh, okay, that was a miss. Ooh, that was really close to the javelin throwers, but the second shot is coming out. Yeah, a little bit bite of the ass of the javelin thrower.
The Springald is doing a little bit of work, but now Wams joins the fight, and honestly, this is risky, because now the Springald can just fire back at this mangonel, so Sassy, even though he does have the defender's advantage here, he's in danger, and oof.
Ooh, the raiding party.
Wham, just being so practical.
Oh my god, he just lose the mangonel!
And that is the power of having a Springald at the front. Look at these javelin throwers just taking care of the Springalds too. So at this point, there's no way for him to close this out. The Springalds are just causing, they're causing this type of havoc that Sassy doesn't have an answer to. There needs to be another Springald from Sassy, and he's gonna have to micro that thing better than anyone.
Wow, that was interesting. Wham with the one Springald at the time, he just took out the mangonel, and after that he took out the Springald with the javelin thrower, and the javelin throwers are still killing units, killing matters, villagers, everything you can imagine.
But this is also just something that we have to consider. Oof, this is going to be a really tough thing if he denies this. Let's really see his vision. Yeah, he knows that it's coming, but he doesn't have an answer. He's like, I'm desperate to get this keep up. Let me just see. This guy says, hey, I'm ready to snack. And those Springalds are finally firing like back in Season 1 when Springalds were deadly. Oh, the villagers get called just to, hey.
Oh my god, those villagers. Just cancel it. And also you can see the military population difference is crazy. So remember what I said about the food? Now look at Wham, almost 2,000 food per minute and 600 olive oil per minute.
Now these Springalds are just free to roam as well now, and the mangonel's here, but honestly the mangonel needed to be a nuke for that to work out. And unfortunately, Sassy goes down 3-0